Okay. Right. Good afternoon and welcome everyone to our Creative Cruising Azamara and Backroads Touring presentation. Joining us today, we've got Belle Osmic from Azamara Cruises and Dylan Hearne from Backroads Touring. A few quick housekeeping notes. Everybody will be in mute mode for the presentation. If you do have any questions, can you please use the chat function, which is located at the bottom of your screen, and we'll go through any questions at the end. So before I pass over to Belle and Dylan, at Creative Cruising, we are extremely excited about our 3 exclusive packages, obviously featuring the combination of Azamara and Backroads. As always, our packages can be found on our website underneath our Air, Land and Sea tab. And for those of you who have the white labels with us, your clients will be able to find these packages directly on your website underneath Cruise Packages. And I'm going to pass over to Belle and Dylan now. Thank you, guys.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Lara. You're definitely not the only one excited about putting these packages together. We really see, and have for some time, Dylan and I, that the Azamara clientele and Backroads guests, it's really this perfect match. We really focus on some of the similar goals and what are their decision drivers. They want something a little exclusive, definitely on the luxury end, and not cookie cutter travel. So Azamara being destination immersed travel, where it's all about that time in port, early in and late stays, and lots of overnights, which we'll get into. And then of course that time on a much smaller and very luxury Mercedes style coach. So we think it really is a perfect match for this style of travel, and we've picked out some great destinations for all of that to happen. Really across that, it is matching up those needs and wants of the guests. So with Azamara, it's small ship, under 700 guests on board, and really following those protocols as we've started sailing again, and we've been off sailing for about 3 months or so now, and going really well through Europe. People are having a great time, and we're seeing a lot of new to brand guests that are wanting a smaller ship experience. Definitely a lot of unique ports, and downtown docking is where it stands out. So we'll do triple overnights in some of our ports of call. We often come in at the end of a voyage and do an overnight, so you don't need to get a hotel. You're able to kind of enjoy that port and disembark the next day. So we've got plenty of things there that really align. What a big thing between the two is that identical fleet and consistency. So with Azamara, we've got an amazing team on board. We have lots of guests that come back time and time again to sail on our ships. And really a marriage of that with Backroads is that you have the one tour director that is with you the entire land portion as well. So we really it's a concierge service between the two. Definitely short days on the road, really tie in to what we do in your cruising ports, where it's a lot of time in the port. You never feel like you're rushed. You're just kind of off for lunch and back in the afternoon. A late stay for us is after 8 p.m. at night, and that's on most evenings of the package trips that we've picked. And Dylan will definitely go into some more details, but no more than kind of an hour and a half on the road every day. So the small luxury coaches, the unique stays, the more I'm hearing about the Backroads product, those smaller hotels, the experiences that you get, and those shore excursions line up with what we do in the ports of call. So I think that'll be really interesting for your clients as well. These are the packages that we have across. So I'm sure you would have seen some of this come out already in all of the advertising that we've got. For Chris, I think the presenter bar, I'm not seeing a presenter bar on mine. I'm not sure if anyone else is, but I think if your cursor is on top of it, it might just be keeping that there. So you can minimize all the people's faces on Zoom so you won't have them across the presentation. That might be what you're asking there. We'll see. Oh, good. Okay. I'm definitely not great with technology, so I hope that helped. So definitely the 3 things that we've looked at is including on sea a country intensive voyage. So really pick some great immersive trips for you, and then marrying these with a great tour that is an extension of where you were headed already. So Ireland and Iceland is actually probably my favorite if I had to pick out of the three. I think that's just an amazing trip. It is the best of both worlds, and it's so much time in each of the destinations you go to. Fabulous France, a lot of people have got kind of that wine region and going to see the wineries and that 5-star stay on their bucket list. So that one is a great one as well. And really down to the Mediterranean, the package that we've got for you there, you honestly couldn't get a better pick of including everything people want to see from that region. And we do call it Indulgent Italy because they will certainly find somewhere to dine and drink wine the whole way along. So that's kind of an overview for you of what we have up. I'll hand over to Dylan as we get into some of the detail for you as well.
I can't click slides, Belle, so I need you to drive me.
Perfect. Here we go.
Wonderful. Well, thank you guys for joining us. And Belle and I have done a few presentations, so I'm pretty happy that she nailed the Backroads experience right at the top there. It's working really well. The brainwashing is finally kicking through. But look, I'm just as excited with these packages. We've sort of put our heads together and had a few coffees, maybe a couple of wines, and really try to isolate, you know, those unique kind of things your customers might want. We wanted to pull away from the cliche, the general, the everyday cruise, the everyday tour, and give creative cruising something really, really unique for you all to sell. So this first one here is brilliant, and I can understand why Belle rates this highly on her list of our 3 tours and cruises for you. But the Corners of Southern Ireland, a top 10 selling tour for Backroads generally year on year by itself. So a great way to have a short spell around Ireland. You'll notice a lot of the Backroads product isn't 3 weeks or 4 weeks like commonly seen by coach touring. It is just over a week, but really gets into the nooks and crannies of the destination. So kicking off in Dublin, gives us a lot of air option in, which is wunderbar. Coming across straight away to Kildare to see what an amazing horse does. Off to the famous Cliffs of Moher. Can you click me across there, love?
Yeah.
Where we have obviously a chance to get across and see the wonderful puffins over there. Coming down through into Killarney, into the Ring of Kerry there. You know, these are all must-do bucket lists, but we're not going to like things like the Eiffel Tower where you're going to have 10,000 people around. Realistically, our coach of 18, which can only hold 18, can get into some unique and wonderful, wonderful spots here. So in Killarney, we stay in an amazing, beautiful hotel called the Cahanane. Something really unique and quintessentially Backroads. On the Ring of Kerry, just to mix it up as we come back on that day, we do get involved in this wonderful Celtic steps, which you can see on your screen right now. So if anyone's seen Riverdance or thinks they can do a bit of Riverdance, that's a couple of champagnes. This is an amazing show to get your heads around. A chance to buy Dylan some Waterford Crystal as you're coming back through. On this journey, maybe sip some whiskey, who knows? Just one more figure cross belt. But, you know, this is Ireland. This is the beauty of it. We know the big cities are where it's all at kind of thing generally, but once you get your customer really immersed in this part of Ireland, the complement of the Azamara cruise taking up north is really going to come to town. So I'll pass over to Belle to take you northbound to Iceland.
I did the Ring of Kerry when I was a backpacker in the UK, I want to say 300 years ago. But that region of Ireland is just so amazing. I would love to go back. So you would finish up your land portion in Dublin. And what's really great for your guests, all of the information I'm sharing with you, we do have a crossing cruising power where you've got kind of our trade pages, but even just if you wanted a few details on Shorex, you can send them PDFs straight from our consumer information page as well. So we have got a couple of other details there if there's add-ons you wanted to do to your package. I mentioned before the overnights. Here when we're up in Iceland, we've got the 2 overnights for you and in some different ports of call. So really we've tried with our deployment team, and what a job that is, just to travel the world and pick new places to sell for Azamara. It really is intensive. So you've got the overnight at the end of the cruise. So you've really got some time, Reykjavik there to explore, but also on the other side of the island, which I know is really important to guests that are going up there with this on the bucket bucket list that amount of time in ports. And we do on this voyage in Iceland, it is a 6 p.m. all aboard, but that is due to there's no real evening tours that we can take people out to. You will see on the further packages that we've got, we do tour through the evening as well. On the ship for all guests, just a quick reminder for Azamara, it is all inclusive. So all guests on board, it's your drinks, your food, gratuities, anything they could possibly want. They've got all of that included. We then have Veranda Plus, where they've got 5 of the suite inclusions, or up to a suite where it's like any dining they like. They've got so many different things that they can do across the ship, and they've got the in-room bars and afternoon tea service as well. So in the suites they will have kind of that 6-star butler service, but really it is a 5-star amazing experience across the ship for Azamara. One thing that ties in really well with doing this as the Land Sea package is there is no formal nights on board. There's no high heels needed or formal dresses, suit jackets for the gentlemen, anything like that. It is smart casual all the way. So I know for particularly our Australian New Zealand guests, that's very important that they're not having to take or carry around extra luggage with them. When we're up in Iceland, we dock and stay overnight in these 2 beautiful ports. So obviously one's a little more known. Reykjavik is the capital and the largest city. There's 8 particular shore excursions that I highly recommend, where they can actually go out and see a pop and soul music performance by Greta Salome. We hire her every time we're up there to do this beautiful performance. She's an Icelandic singer and a violinist. So the Harpa Concert Hall really is like one thing your guests have to see while they're there. When we do stuff on the other side of the island, it really is a spectacular spot. This is where you see the spectacular fjords, the snow-capped mountains. There are 9 particular excursions on this one, where you can go to the northernmost town for some local culture. It is definitely a visit to the Herring Era Museum is really important for your guests on this one too. So there is, in those ports, we're actually docked and ashore. We go to such amazing, like smaller towns that there are 4 spots where we will tender our guests across. So that is something I like to remind people. We are going to some places that don't have concrete piers. It is not where the large cruise ships will go. So in 4 of the smaller Iceland ports, we will tender our guests across. With under 600 guests on board, that is quite a quick process. Even when I've been on some of the busiest days and, you know, we're in Russia and wanting to get everyone off downtown in St. Petersburg, honestly, even any of those times of getting on and off a ship, whether it's tender or docking, we really don't take too much time of your guests to do that as well. And the following voyage, so that was a lot of Ireland and Iceland, and we are jamming a lot of content in here. So I hope it's as exciting for the rest of you as it is us that all of this combines together, and you've got some great packaged product out there for all of your guests. But this really is a fantastic French intensive. We have done these country intensives for a few years, and coming out of this challenging pandemic time that we've been in, it's actually worked in our favor to have kind of one voyage across a country because we're following that government's rules each time. So this one is in September of next year, starting from Amsterdam, going through and doing some late stays. So you have got a chance to do the overnights into Paris. There's a lot of train trips and things that you can do there as well as you go down the coastline. I actually spent a few days in Cherbourg when we launched our last ship, the Pursuit, and that honestly is a gorgeous spot to dock the ship and so much history there as well. When you come through to the end and you're into Bordeaux, once again, you've got that overnight. So across this 11-night voyage, there's 3 overnights for your guests, so plenty of time ashore for them. When we do get into some of this wine region, and sorry, it's kind of cut off just a little bit at the side there. I'm not sure why that's happened, but there are so many excursions, so many different things that your guests can do. With Azamara, we always make it really clear for them the activity level. So being that we do have a demographic of kind of empty nesters, I will let you know, guests that pick Azamara and Backroads, they're really active. They are the people that want to know about the tours, about what they can do in port. They want to kind of map that all out before they leave. So that's definitely some decision makers we've seen, is that land is really important for them. So whether it's food and wine, sightseeing, a walking tour, a lot of the cultural tours is what's been important. So across this one voyage, the 11 nights, you've got 5 different wine show excursions that are just all about wine tasting. So definitely for the wine lovers. We've got spectacular overnight experiences in Paris. So that is something they can tack onto their package, and they can go with the same group and do the entire 2 to 3 day trip and come back again. And then we've got some great cultural experiences. So this is out to, you know, how they make the cognac and getting to try it all day. So that's definitely up there on some people's list. Definitely when they go to the Christian Dior house, this is something for those fashion lovers, seeing how all those brands came and shaped through, and lots of discovery of kind of art, treasures and icons. So if it's not just wine and the food they're after, there is definitely a lot of the historical that you can see on these itineraries as well. And I'll hand it back over to Dylan.
Thank you. And I think one of the treats I think I love about this particular combination, although the next one is my actual favorite, so I'm going to get excited there, but is, if anyone knows Backroads, our heritage comes from war history. So we have our famous war tour. I believe someone on this webinar has been on our famous war tour, La Belle France, back in the day, back when we could tour. So to be able to go and see the D-Day landing site as part of the cruise component there with Azamara is, you know, just a compliment to the true Backroads experience. And as Belle was going on, there's a bit of wine, there's maybe a bit of food. And unfortunately, guys, when you come onto the tour component, that'll continue. So unfortunately, with this particular journey, you are going into some really deluxe wine and food territory. I was going to flip over there, Belle.
Yep, sorry.
All right.
There we go.
Little slave. So, you know, I didn't touch on the food too much, but potato and whiskey in Ireland, everyone knows it, so I didn't have to go too deep into it. But in France, it's a major part of why you want to go to France, okay? So to have the bay oysters, to have the Bayonne ham, to have the Besco de Limon, sparkling wines. This is all included as part of your journey. This is not optional. This is not extra. You can say no to Ghana, but it's an amazing way to really get yourself deep and dark into what the Backroads product is all about. And a lot of our product has a massive culinary focus. We want to get yourselves immersed in, with where we stay each night, but also as you enjoy your days, get you into those nooks and crannies that our coach does allow us to get into. Also, Belle, just one more page over. Oh, look at the dramatic effect going on there. Awesome. A wonderful cruise there on a traditional boat on the River Lot. So this is just something, you know, you can't do on a 48-seat coach. Likewise, there's a certain road we can traverse as we go through the Midi-Pyrenees. So our little wonderful Mercedes Sprinter can get up the Pyrenees a little bit easier than those famous Tour de France riders. But we also get a chance to go to Les Skulls Caves. So see these traditional, you know, really ancient artworks that are displayed here, I think will be a massive, massive highlight and a massive, massive hit for your customers there. So in this, once again, a relatively short tour in its land component, you are gorging yourselves with food, but you're totally immersing yourself in the region, its history, its sites, and all of its delights. It's a wonderful, wonderful way to finish up that wonderful excursion there, that creative cruising you put together. And I got the double up this time, which is fantastic. So this is actually my favorite. I do have to put it out there straight away, but I'm a bit of a fan of Italy. I may have been there 7 or 8 times, and every time I go there, I see something new and I taste something different, and I just get into it. I'm a gastro tourist. I don't go there for sights and delights. I do go there to eat and drink. So this tour tick, tick, and tick. But why tick for your customers? Okay, it is the traditional Rome to Venice. All right, it's going to tick a lot of basic boxes for your customers because it does that key sort of route up north, which, you know, every tour operator does. So why would you do Backroads over, you know, said other companies? Really easy. Belle, from all her training, mentioned it right at the start. We don't have long days on the road. You're on the road for a maximum of an hour and a half at a time. So although this itinerary looks dramatic, you are actually in destination a hell of a lot more than you are on our wonderful Mercedes Sprinter. So nothing against the bus, but you'd rather be in destination. So as we make our way out from Rome, we will then continue through to the wonderful Tuscany. I'll get you to switch over there, Belle, to one more page. Grazie, Ben. And we we stayed at a wonderful, wonderful villa in Tuscany, and as part of that villa experience is the owners will make you cook with them, learn how to make it the traditional way. And the best part about this day is you get to bloody eat it at the end. And you're in Tuscany, so the wine's good too. Happy days, but wait, there's still more. As we come across there, most people would stay in Florence after that and use that as your gateway port to all things wonderful. And we go, no, our small coach actually allows us to stay in the walled city of Lucca. So most of the tour operators will visit Lucca. You have to visit it, 100%. But we stay there. It becomes your home. You can traverse and walk or ride the walled city itself. I think only the police can drive their cars on the wall. They shouldn't, but they can. They're police. But a beautiful, wonderful little town. As you keep going up, truffle hunting with wonderful dogs in Alba. This is two things for me. A, I love dogs, and you may have heard Belle's dogs in the background right at the start.
Yeah, sorry.
But then obviously see how truffle is actually found under the trees via the dogs sniffing and digging. It's an immersive experience. And again, to cruise the lakes of Lake Maggiore. We stay in a wonderful hotel here, right on the edge of Lake Maggiore too. But to see all the little islets that appear, I believe there's some beautiful little old buildings and maybe a few celebrities as well. You might get to spot whilst you're out in this region. So again, you are spending so much time in destination. Last time I did an Italian presentation, I actually gave the spotlight to one of my Italian tour leaders. They all are Italian. They all have wonderful accents. They love their country. They'll give back to you as much as you want from them, to ask and have a lot of questions. This is a beautiful tour. I love it. I love it. Love it. Over to you, Bella.
Amazing. So the section that we run for you on this one is, of course, that Venice back through and up to Barcelona. This is one of my favorite locations in the world. I'm completely biased because my husband is from Bosnia, so we've spent much of our time over in Croatia at the coastline, Montenegro, driving up back through Serbia as well. So this is just, it's got to be on the bucket list. I know a lot of people do this and they look at South Croatia and a few things now, but incorporating this to going back through Italy and then up to what has to be one of the highlights of the world, spending any time in Monte Carlo or Monaco. If you haven't yet, this just has to be on your list. So it really is a bit of a nice journey, this trip. The time of year that you're going, it is beautiful weather. Obviously, we've picked the overnights in the spots that you really, like, they're the ones you want to be in the most of the time. And you can't go to Monaco and not do an evening overnight just to check out and people watch at the casino. So the best of the med for us, it really does highlight the as amazing evenings. So on the ships, and I didn't really touch on this on the other ones, I saved the best for last. You get this experience that's included on every Azamara voyage, and it's an evening experience ashore. So for us, we launched these again from June 22. Obviously dependent on location and government regulations of getting groups together. Right now on the ship, they're happening as a destination celebration on the deck of the ship, and all the guests are getting together there. Same entertainment, food, wine, everything that we would have ashore, but we're doing it on board. When these packages are out, we're back on land again. So I've been lucky enough in Barcelona to do one where they brought the cast of the Carmen opera that was performing downtown to perform for us at a private castle for the evening. It was just the most spectacular thing you had seen. There's just a few details. The guests will know ahead of time what night this is happening when it's on their voyage, but they won't know all the specifics. There's always a few surprise and delights on those. Dining on board, we've got the amazing Aquilina that you can see here in Prime Sea as well. Lots of great opportunities for you, for the guests to book into these once they're on the ship, and do some chef's dining packages too. But with that late stay, I wanted to focus on Monte Carlo itself. It is such a beautiful destination. There is amazing shore excursions you can do to explore the region, or whether it is they just want to hang out and kind of people watch and car watch around in Monte Carlo itself. With it being the overnight, it will be the As Amazing evening in this particular port for us. So they'll go to an event with everyone else, and then they could head to the casino, walk by the harbour and the super yachts afterwards. But it really is kind of a glamorous spot on the end of a trip that's been full of adventure and different ports of call for them as well. So for us, it is about hitting really on some of these, the best of the med, it is some of those top destinations that are on the bucket list, and also some smaller ports that you wouldn't normally get to on a larger cruise line, which fits right into Dylan's indulgence package across land in Italy as well. Now, of course, there is always something a little special when we put these packages together. So for us, that is across November right through to February. We're running quite a long campaign on these, and there is the agent booking incentive as well. So I will let Lara jump in if there's any other details she'd like to pop in there, but we're excited to give back to our travel partners. Obviously, there will be your commissionables and everything to go with that, but you earn the $200 e-gift card for every deposited package that you pop in on any of these 3 packages that we've mentioned today. Did you want me to go into any further detail, Lara, or did you want to jump in?
No, that's okay, Belle. I think you've pretty much covered it all. I mean, the tours just look absolutely amazing. I know which one I would love to be able to do. But yes, so with the $200 e-gift card, it's any deposited package booking, valid from now through till the 1st of February 2022. So you do have a long lead time to advertise and promote these packages. Did we have any questions from anyone at all?
We got a couple of exciting. It's great to see Val Goldie's on there. I hope your store opening goes well this week.
Good,
and Angela as well.
Yep. And Karina from Creative is just reminding me that there is elevated commission levels on these packages as well. So it's actually just rewarding you guys even more. Belle, the social tiles are actually already on our website. So underneath Agent Tools social tiles, you'll have individual social tiles for each one of these packages. So they are actually already on the website. You can also generate the PDF package directly from the website as well. Do you want to answer this question?
Yeah, I'll jump in on that one for Beaver. Definitely Azamara is our demographic on board for us normally on any of the longer sailings and repositionings, I would say really is that empty nesters. The average age of guests on board is between 50s and 60s, so not kind of quite our senior demographic as we have on some cruise lines, it's kind of in between. But we do see on these particular voyages where it's very country intensive, active shore excursions, you will see that demographic come down. We've got a lot of honeymooners, people in their 30s and 40s that will be on these voyages as well. There is no kids club as such, but if you've got a family where the kids enjoy to explore on land, to get out with the parents, I often find any kids you find in Azamara are sleeping by the time it's dinner because they've spent 8 hours in a port that day and been out and about. So it definitely, we can have them on board. It just wouldn't be our most common guest, would be a full family.
And I guess further to that then, Dylan, are there age restrictions for the Backroads component?
Yeah, definitely. So good little segue there. So from ages 13 up for Backroads on our particular tours.
And you would probably see from 13 and above, they're the kids that actually enjoy Azamara because they're the ones that are really getting something out of. They might be an art student or they want to go and see that historical place that they've got on the list. I find families that do cruise or travel with either of our brands are well traveled already. The kids enjoy that type of thing. And as long as they're aware that they're not coming on for water slides or games parks, then they would understand what type of cruising it is. Shore excursions themselves are not included on Azamara. We are 5-star. There will always be some onboard credit inclusions that you can use on shore excursions for a lot of our sailings, but the price will be a little less than you'd see on some of the brands where they will include kind of city tours in every port. We like people to be able to tailor that trip to what they would like to do each and every day, so not inclusive of it, only that as amazing evening.
Yeah, and to segue off that just as well, we have no optionals at all with Backroads. So if you see it written down on a piece of paper, it's included. The best thing about that with our overnight stays is that you do have a lot of free time. And I sort of mentioned it in the Italian one there, but with all tours, if you've wanted to know more about that destination, the tour leaders are all local. We don't import people from Australia to come and host our tours. We have Irish, we have French, we have Italian, we have the works. So they want to show off their backyard. They'll invite you onto hikes with them. I know, especially the Italian indulgence guys, they love going for like meanders, because they've got the time to, you know, they like taking photos, like seeing stuff, and if you're into that too, like it's all there for you. But the truffles and the cruises on Lake Maggiore and all that sort of fun stuff is just an inclusion. It's just a straight up inclusion.
And then to answer Chris's question, these packages are available exclusively through Creative Cruising. So you will find the details both of the packages and any social media tiles that go along with promoting these packages on the Creative Cruising website. All right. Was there any further questions from anyone? No?
Cool.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us. And yeah, if anyone has any questions, either feel free to contact myself, Belle, or Dylan. And yeah, thank you very much again.
Excellent.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks so much, everyone, for taking some time out to join us. Good luck with everything.
Hey.
Happy selling, guys.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.